Obviously, to martial means to order. And things cannot be ordered by people who repeat the process of beating people up senselessly for the sake of competition, and that cause each other certain mental damage, certain brain damage, right? And nor are these people even sold to us as leaders, so we could pretty much skip over the UFC. And when you look at Eastern philosophy and Eastern martial arts, they're pretty much all based on yin-yang principles, and Qigong being one of them. So let me show you this Tai Chi and spirituality. Ki boxer Song Su Ming meets Yang Xiao Ho Song Sin So Min, right? You can pretty much do the wordplay looking at my other videos. I just want to breeze through this, get to the key points, okay? Obviously, look at the back, okay? Look at the different pictures, just like with the rest of the magazines that are published, for the most part. It is the LGBT community, the liberals, and so on. So, Spiritual Anatomy of Qigong Principles in Practice by Stephanie D. Harper. Stephanie has worked in the mental health and holistic health fields for over 15 years. She is a behavioral health outreach specialist, author, trainer, and teacher. She is a local pioneer implementing mindfulness-based programs for individuals in trauma centers, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so she's a mental health person. Obviously, these people are drugging me because I'm the opposition view with martial arts. It connects to reproduction, the ordering of society, the philosophies of society, American values, and so on, you know, and conceptions of masculinity. Okay, of course, you know, we have the brute masculinity, expression of masculinity in UFC, and in the Eastern martial arts, the Taekwondo, Kung Fu, Karate, we have the kind of liberal perspective, because you have to factor in the American version of karate, okay, which could have perhaps been the exception. And the fact is considered a sport and an art, and not really something that creates leaders in society. However, with the Qigong and the Kung Fu and the Tai Chi, we do see it being used to create liberal leaders, if for nothing else, okay, along with mental health. We'll get into that momentarily. The proof that thousands of psychologists have been working for many years now to make it seem that, like, black people are inferior to white people in terms of intelligence, using the IQ test, which has, by experts time and time again, been proven obsolete, unfair, and blatantly ignoring the social and cultural factors that go into one's score on the IQ test. So, the spiritual anatomies of Qigong principles and practice. Qigong is practiced in the internal and external habits that mold us, shaping the outward expression of our lives. Our bodies, like nature, grow from the inside out. Thus, we practice cultivating our ki in our body, organs, and the wisdom mind. Building the spirit temple in the heart every day, we become soft, supple, strong and responsive, full of vital life force, and become our own alchemists as we transform energy in the body. In turn, we come more in tune with elements within us and within existence. Thus, we come into harmony with ourselves and the universe. With practice, it comes with ease. So, of course, by saying alchemy, right, you're by default connecting the greater alchemical process of the occult in governing society. And you're becoming a part of it. As mental health obviously enforces social norms, right? Behavioral health, okay? This obviously connects to how people behave. If I have to explain that to you, it's rather unfortunate. Watch this video again from the start to the finish. Watch it 10 times until you truly grasp how deep this thing goes, okay? They believed in the Tao being primordial waters and emptiness, okay? They believe in divination. It's even these words are used in this article. Transformation in energy, shape, and perception, right? This goes back to physics, okay? They believe the Wu Qi is a state of stillness, right? As opposed to the body's full of atoms that are moving rapidly. Therefore, it suggests that a more intense martial art is needed, a more rapid state of mind, instead of a more calm and balanced for the purpose of set positions. We see that the sun is setting, and this isn't the only one, right, which creates the ideal position for them, right, the black leading to the white, right, the setting of the energy, the warmth in terms of being conducive to the yang energy, okay, where they say the heat actually destroys the inner key. Now, of course, in Africa, you know, it is a very hot place. Okay, and that is in a different article in this magazine. But anyway, here they talk about the free yang charge and the negative yin charge and how they flow through the Taiji pole. Okay, which is basically this line that goes through this cylinder-shaped object idea that goes through your body. So from the top, the dantian on the top, the lower dantian, you know, by the reproductive organs, and the middle dantian, which is by the heart. Okay, now I'm not going to really go into this. To make a long story short, it has to do with the sun, has to do with the fire of the gods, the imperial fire, which is the middle dantian. Basically, these two non-solar ideas are affecting the middle dantian. So they are receiving the sun on its way out, and that has to do with the sun setting, set. All right. So if you don't understand that, that's fine. I go as far as say you don't need to understand that. You need to understand that they're alchemists and that they don't believe in cultivating righteous indignation, but rather a kind of energy that makes it so that you're in harmony with a crony capitalist state. That's all you really need to know about it. Bottom line, I'm sure they would not reject to that argument. Okay, you're in harmony with the people and with nature and with lesser forms of life, and you attempt to transcend one way or another. You need to know it's a way that I don't agree with. Okay, so let me see if I can find this thing for you. I mean, I could show you the article. It's written in a very confusing way. That's part of why I don't bother to read that part. The first part is pretty much self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, here we go. Page 31. Too much heat in the environment drains and weakens the ki internally. Likewise, excessive sweating damages both the ki and the fluids. So obviously you can see the difference between this idea of martial arts and the intense African sun temple martial arts. The sun, the heat, right? Ra is the strength of the sun. Okay, so it's the ki versus the ka of the strength of the sun. It is the ki and the chi of this world, where the yin is the negative worldly energy, and the yang is the whole universe. Okay, and so they do talk about the solar energy coming through the top, right, the top of the dantian, the higher dantian, and it mixes together with the negative energy of the earth, and they kind of meet halfway around the heart. So, you know, pretty much it's very straightforward. You know, they're experts. You know, you see guys like this guy, right? An Eastern guy, you know, he doesn't look very gay or anything like that. But we see guys that look like out of the closet homosexuals. Now, I'm not saying in this video that it's evil to be a homosexual, but I'm saying they have hijacked this thing from the Asians for the purpose of basically white supremacy from a liberal perspective, right? These are a bunch of white people in mental health that have, you know, taken the ball, so to speak, right? The ball's in their court, okay? Hey, this guy, okay? And they have these gay looks on their faces, right? Or this kind of occult, kind of Kim Kardashian, kind of lesbian look on their faces. This is not a coincidence, okay? These people are using this idea for their sexual pleasure. And I'll even show you. You know, we look at the dantian, it's by the reproductive organs, right? They go as far as to draw it in ways that it spells it out for you, really. You see this? Okay, there's an emphasis on their homosexual and LGBT philosophies and their gender-neutral philosophies. And this leads to chemical castration and putting things in the water and in the psych meds and the different substances that people commonly consume to create people that talk the way I do instead of saying, Ra! Ka! Ba!